ده بنات كثير ملايين منهم، آلاف منهم، شفت كيف؟ أو تلقى إنه ولد صغير ممكن يجي يعمل ريبورت يقول مثلا أنكل ده حبشني كده، أنت تنهي رامشي ده، أنت لقيت الكلام ده، أنت جانا كيف؟ هنا أنت خلاص فصلت بينك وبين جناك، الثقة بيكون ما في، جنا ده تاني ما هيجي ليك أنت عشان مثلا يعني يعمل لك ريبورت بتاع حاجة. أنت المفروض عيالك ده في البيت دائما أنت تقربوا جنبك، انت لازم توريهم، لانه احنا ما عايشين في past. We are not living in the past. We are living in 21st century. Even within our villages, we need to make sure that we educate our people there, whether by radios, whether by going from house to house talking, whether we are in a local community or the center there, we educate our people. لانه حاجه ده بيحصل ما بس كمان لبيت، بيحصل ذاته لولد الصغير من قبل نساء ممكن يكون كبار في السن يعمل حاجه ده ذاته لولد. فعادات وتقاليد بتاعنا انت بتلقى مثلا في انكل كبير بيجي يغتصب يعني انكل ممكن يكون 70 سنه، ممكن يكون 60 سنه، بيغتصب بيت صغير يا اخو ادوار، والناس بيسكتوا بالكلام ده. لما البنت يمشي يعمل ريبورت برضه لامه او لزول في الفاميلي او حتى لابوه، لانه اقرب زول للطفل دائما بيكون لما يمشي ينحره. وده حاجات التقاليد البطاله احنا لازم نشيله برا. والحاجه الثانيه هو to educate our children sexually. احنا بنشوف انه لما نيجي تعمل education للجنات في حاجات بتاع sexual، لانه هو قاعد يجرو whether he's a boy or girl, if you start to educate them sexually بيقولوا لا المرة ده او family ده ناس ما عارفين دارين يعلم عيالهم حركات ما كويس. no, instead you are helping your children, you're preparing them to the community outside to be ready, because you don't know the world that they are going to face outside, whether they are going to the boarding school, whether they are going to the normal school. So they should be prepared. هم يكونوا جاهزين. فأنت لازم كلام إنه people should not educate people about sexual harassment وحاجات بتاع sex ده يعني بيقولوا ده حاجه غلط. وكمان بالاضافه لانه مثلا انت بتلقى انه يقول لك ما ممكن يعملوا، يعني تتكلم عن الكلام ده في المدارس، لا يبداوا في المدارس من سنه رابعه، من سنه رابعه ابتدائي لازم يعلموا، لانه من سنه رابعه ابتدائي ده في عيال بالذات البنات وجسمهم بقى بيتغير بسهوله. ده اول مرحله انك توري الكلام اللي جينا في عمر ده، يعني يتم تضمينه في ال في ال في المدارس، يعني يكون جزء من التربيه الوطنيه. يعني مثلا إدوار احنا لما دخلنا في المدارس زي ما انت قلت يعني في العمر بتاع المتوسطه احنا علمونا الحاجات ده. والكنيسه على فكره برضه ساعدنا. انا بشكر برضه اللي هو المبشر ديفيد وسام، ده واحد من المبشرين اللي كان برضه بيجيب لنا فيديوهات اللي بيعلمونا الحاجات كتير في الكنائس. احنا مرات بنجي ابونا ديل كمان بيجيب لنا اللي اسمه الفيديوهات ده احنا بنشاهده، حتى بتاع كان اوينس بتاع الايدز او بتاع امراض التناسليه الاخرى بيجيبونا. انما زمان كنا الواحد بيكون خجلان ما داري يشوف، لكن you force yourself to listen. هم طبعا السيسترات دول بيجي بيقول لك no, don't feel shy and don't feel like that, both boys or girls, you need to watch this. احنا كنا بنشوف ليه هم قاعدين يعلمونا what is the motive behind. لكن واحد شويه لما مشينا في المتوسط او زي ما بيقولوا تامنا، احنا عرفنا الفائده بتاع اللي اسمه شنو ده sexual education ده ليه هم قاعدين يورونا، لانه في اسباب كثيره اللي هو sexual harassment، وزائد انه شنو الامراض التناسليه اللي ممكن يحصل خلال السكشوال انتركورس ولا حاجات زي ده. فده اللي ما نقدر نتكلم عنه. يعني انت بتلقى انه الكلتشر بتاعنا ذاته في حد نفسه ما مساعد لنا. فاحنا لازم we need to change. There are some bad norms in our culture, we need to change it. في حاجات بطال في الكالتشر بتاعنا احنا لازم نتكلم. والواحد منه انه شنو بانه الزول الفيكتيمز احنا we criminalize the victim, we force the victim to keep silent. Silent ده ذاته يا جريمه. We shouldn't let our children to keep silent. They should come and talk out, to speak out, so we can prevent this sexual harassment or sexual assault in our community. أنا ممكن بجي أضيف بعدين في حاجات
Yeah, thank you. Sister Lily, before we continue, Sister Lily, I want you to make comment on the issue of uncles in our family in the West countries. What are you saying about that? Because some of women, they are not telling their kids the real situation. And this practice also of sexual assault is it has been practicing by some uncles, you know, to the kids even themselves. So what are you saying to? What is your comment on that?
Like I mentioned earlier, we as parents, we contributed 80% for our children to be raped. Why? Because lack of knowledge. 2, ignorance. 3 is to preserve our those are the reasons where you can see we did not create this relationship between children and the parents, and even we don't know at what age we should talk, especially when some parents they came to diaspora, even if they are not educated, but they should at least adapt to this kind of culture where you can create a relationship between children and the parents and explain to them exactly who are the real uncles and who are not the real uncles. And not all the uncles, they came abroad. The real uncle, for us, like if you are related, like the 4th or the 6th, this one, clan, or you are great grandparents, is still, this is not like the closest relative. This is not the closest relative. This is number one. Number 2, it is us as parents that we misled, even misleading our even up to now. And the other reason, yeah, Edward, why we are not this kind of behavior, it has already been like neglected and normalized and tolerated in our community because of we are hiding, because we are afraid. That's why this thing is happening. And also another reason is because these mothers themselves, they were raped too. They were raped with their uncles. They were raped with brothers-in-laws. So these parents themselves, they were raped before, even with their priests. But because they were afraid not to expose this, because if you tell your children, this thing will come like it publicly. So this is the reason why you see this thing. Our children are not comfortable, like you mentioned earlier, to tell us what is going on with them, because we even the parents, we experienced, we were even victimized, but we were not honest. We lie about our life. But if we share with in love, in privacy, you say, my daughter, this thing is real. My son, this is real. Do not allow somebody to come in the house that I did not tell them exactly who he is. And the worst thing, Edward, in diaspora here, women, our behavior contributes to that, because you bring your boyfriend and you tell your children that this is your uncle. This is very contradictory. And I was so sad that even the same uncles that you tell your children that's uncle, it is your boyfriend. Guess what? In your absence, when you go to work, those uncles turn to rape your daughters at night. This is something that not something that is right, something that is not true. This is weird that is happening in our society. So my advice, it will come later when we come to the solutions and the preventive measures that we can take later before we finalize this. Yes, uncles, mothers or fathers are the ones that allow those uncles to come in the house without even their behavior. With those uncles, they are very close to their family at all.
Okay, Intake, did you finish?
Did you get me?
Yeah, actually, I get you because you have network problem.
Yeah.
Let us actually before we go ahead, before we proceed, let us stop for a while. في الكيس الحاسة انتوا قلتوا هسه you comment and also under Molana Tereza. Al issue lo inter, if you realize outside in the West, most of the families actually you can find them only in a mother in a house, or we can say a single mom or single dad. but the single dad is too rare في outside هنا ممكن بتلقى انه فيهم هذا actually they will accept انه العيال بتاعهم ممكن يمشي مع الاب. وفي بعض الاباء برضه they don't accept because the responsibility بتاع taking care on kids is not something easy. So Lily ومولانا تريزا we need to make a contribution في issue بتاع single mom اللي بكون مرة اللي بكون قاعد براها في البيت مع الاطفال بتاعها وبتمشي للشغل. وكذلك يعني زي ما قال ليلي قبل شويه الانكل اللي بيجي البوي فريند اور هو ايفر العيال دي بيكون عندهم اصدقاء بتاعهم لو كانوا بنات بيجوا بيت وما بيكون في مراقبه. So any sexual assault can happen here. Ways or sexual molestation can happen here because nobody observing them at home. So what I need both of you to talk about it is the importance of parents being together. كويس. أنا قبل كم يوم I share a video in my page بتاع الزول جاي من Ghana. He was talking about the situation of African women in West. What did they do لما يكونوا يصلوا لما when they reach to the West. يعني مجرد ما مرة قالوا المرتب بتاع الدخل بتاع بقى يعني $60 $60,000 في الشهر في سنة خلاص. الشغل بتاع separation creating a lot of problem when they started. So أنا دايركم لأنه الأسر بتاعنا وبعض النسوان بتاعنا actually يعني I don't want to say they are more selfish than taking care of their family. أنا ما أقدر أقول الكلام ده. لكن actually إننا مشكلة. We have a problem in our communities. وده جزء من الحاجات الآن sexual assault can happen وقاعد يحصل. Our kids they don't talk because of what's going on in the family and all those. So what are you telling our communities outside in US, in Canada, in Australia? Let's start with Morana Tereza.
Yeah, انت لو لاحظت قبل let me mention if you realize when I mentioned like numbers of the root causes of this issue ذاته بيؤدي لجذور بتاع الاعتداء الجنسي ده. وانا ذكرت من واحد من الجذور ده انا قلت شنو؟ عدم وجود الوالدين احيانا مع بعض يعني هم بيكونوا مشغولين الاثنين في شغل او في انفصال او طلاق. ده من جانبين على فكره. انا بلوم الام وانا بلوم برضه الاب لانه مرات انت بتلقى انه شنو الاطراف دول كلهم اي زول عنده جانب برا. حتى لو if you have single mother there with their children هو بيجيب برضه boy friend بتاعه ما تنسى انه ذاته العيال ده انا بنمشي لابوهم هناك as a single dad. That single dad he has his own girlfriend. So they are both into this. They are partner in crime. ما في زول ما نلوم بس جانب واحد. لكن الحاجة الكثيرة أنا بقول للأم دائما لأنه الأم أنت يا المدرسة أنت يا بتعلم العيال ده أنت يا بتدوم التربية أنت يا بتكون يعني حاجة فاعل في النص هنا لأنه العيال ده دائما بيحتاج لحنان بتاعك بيحتاج أنت يا بتطبخ لهم بتعمل لهم الحاجات دي كثير بما إنه الراجل ممكن يطبخ لكن في تقاليد بتاعنا احنا بنعرف انه غالبيه انه المراه يا بيمسك الجانب ده كثير كويس. بنفس المنطلق زي ما انت عيال انت جبتهم انتوا الاثنين جبتوا عيال ده انتوا حافظوا على اجور ده يا جماعه. عيال ده هديه. في ناس ما عندهم عيال في ناس بيفتشوا جنى ده بصوره انه يمشي لحد وين يمشي يزرعوه يدفع ملايين من القروش. لكن انتوا الاثنين بيكون عندكم عيال وانتوا بتعملوا مشاكل بتاعكم بتعملوا اسم شنو ده بقولوا شنو ده افاس بتاعكم برا هناك بتنسى انه العيال ده بعدين يدفع الضريبه ده. فعشان كده مهم انه انت ما تركز في القروش. don't focus on the money. انت بتشوف انه خلاص suddenly you have مثلا annual او yearly amount of money that you're getting almost like 70,000 في السنه او 60,000 في السنه وانت شايف نفسك that you know you're under control, you can be a single mother, you can do that by yourself. No, because that child need both of you, present of both of you to be in there. Even كان انتوا انفصلتوا لسه لازم يكون في نوع من انتوا you guys need to make a program you know to focus on this. لانه انفصال بتاع الجنة ده انفصال بتاع الاب وام ده عنده تاثير اوتوماتيك للعيال ده لانه the foundation will not be the same. The education that you're supposed to give this child, the upbringing that you have supposed to give to this child is going to be different. This child in most cases, will remain with the mothers, and this mother will give different ideas to those children. When they go to their father, the father also will give different ideas. And here the child will get confused. وده هو بيرجعنا انه شنو؟ يانا ده مرات لما نمشي هناك نمشي نقعد مع single mother ده single mother ده already بيجي عنده boy friend ده ما معروف، كان عيال اللي كبار ما معروف عينه ذاته بيجي شنو في عيال ده بطريقه ثانيه. انت يعني you want to trust بانه مثلا ده يعني ده you want to put it in equal you know level like as father to them, but انت ما بتعرف intention تزول ده شنو كويس. it's very rare انت بتلقى انه الراجل اللي بيشيل عيال بتاع single mother ده اللي هو جايبه ده، it's rare that will be there and will be for those children. شفت كيف؟ يعني انت بتلقى ممكن نسبه بسيط. وده نفس حاجه بمشي برضه للام للسنجل داد اللي جاي شال مره ثانيه كمان عشان يجي يمسك عيال بتاعه ده. انت بتلقى انه كمان انتشن بتاع مره ده انت ما بتعرفه كيف، لانه دار عيال اللي بيطلع منها هي. فده المشاكل الاساسيه اللي احنا نتكلم فيه بشكل جذري. وكلام هنا انت بتشوف ان العيال دائما بيكون في الانفصال بين ابو وام ده. انت بتشوف كان انت ام ده انت ما قوي عيالك ده ممكن يخربوا. لكن انا بصراحه يا اخو ادوار انا ما اقدر نكتب في امهات they are single mothers, they are working very hard, they are taking care of their children, and their children actually are successful. and I have witnessed في ناس امهات هم single وفي ابهات ربوا عيالهم هم برا. ممكن امهات بتاع عيال كان ماتوا هم مسكوا عيالهم من غير ما يتزوجوا، هم واصلوا انه يمسكوا عيالهم لحد ما عيال دول كبروا. وانا بحييهم برضه في ده. لكن الاغلبيه العظمى اللي انت بتشوف انه في تشتت او انشطار بتاع الاسر في اوروبا وفي امريكا هنا، ده اسباب ده لانه شنو احنا بقينا ماديين اكثر من ما احنا نكون شنو يعني امهات. يعني احنا بنركز بالتربيه بتاع ابناء عشان يكونوا فاعلين في الدوله. فده ده نقطه لما ضرب
شكرا. Thank you. Lily, your addition. Do you have anything you need to add?
Yeah. The only thing that we are going to do, like, what can we do in this, in all what we have discussed? What can we do, and what are the preventive measures that we should tell our families, and especially our communities?
Well, we'll come to that.
In
Lily,
diaspora, you can.
Lily,
later,
we'll come to that. We will come to that. I will come to that. Let me ask you this. I will come to that. There is some the viewers, they are making comment down there. They are talking about husband raping a wife.
Yeah.
Husband raping a wife. So, yeah, or sexual assault happening between husband and wife. Can you tell me how this happened between a wife and a man can rape his wife? Tereza will come to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will. Also, before you add, if a husband, listen, if a husband is actually keep asking a wife for a sex, and she's refusing for a week or 2 weeks, and they are in the same bed, actually, and you know the concept of marriage in our societies. I paid money, and she's mine, and she refusing a sex for me. So I think this where here now the sex rape. We call it a rape. So let's listen to you and Maulana Tereza.
Lily, go on and then I will.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Brother Edward, let me tell you, our culture is something. You know, can you believe some cultures, African cultures, even women themselves, if a man don't beat her and sleep her, like it's called anger. So that's it. And I didn't know that is a crime. until lately. Before like 20 years, I knew that is.
And also you added that someone said
it's a crime. Why I say it's a crime? This is harmful.
Lily, Thomas is saying a wife raping husband.
It's true.
To continue.
It's also true.
Okay. Yeah, I will come to both. This one, when like we went back to the definition of what is rape itself or assault. Yes. Which means if a husband, even if you pay, I wish our audience came from the beginning and let them go and do their research on their own. The definition of rape. The definition of a rape, it doesn't matter how this is your wife, your girlfriend. This is, you should not enforce sex on her by force. If she refuses, this is another thing. If she refuses, you know, if that day is not a big deal if you love her, because love is not only depend on sex. So you can wait tomorrow. And the other things that the culture, our culture is really a problem. This is another topic by itself. If a man don't know how to talk to women, like you can see the mood of your wife. You know her for 20 years, for 30 years. You know, if she's not happy, I think even you will not, both of you will not enjoy the sex. Therefore, a man should know the mood of his wife or girlfriend. If she don't feel willing, because if she's not willing to have sex, there must be a reason why she objects to the sex. So our men need to learn that our culture don't work, especially in diaspora. You will go to jail for that. There was a story, very short, 1 second. A man took her wife to the court that the wife refused sex with him, and he paid 300 cows. And you, like I mentioned earlier, women are viewed as objects, material, sex object, see, in our culture. Therefore, when he accused the wife, the judge say, "I'm sorry, sir, this is your wife, but she is not your sex object. You cannot just sleep with her anytime, and she don't have feelings, she's not happy." So this man took himself actually into jail in 16 years. South Sudanese. Therefore, we are hiding. Maybe I don't know, this is not something for personal, but yeah, rape is normal in our society. You can come there tired and just have sex, boom, 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 done. But this is a crime, and sister.
But the case is,
Tereza will continue from there. Yes, it's a crime.
Really, before we give the chance to Tereza, what I want you to add is, like, if this kind of issue, it actually keep repeating for a week or for 2 weeks, okay, and then a wife, she keep refusing a sex, like you just said now, for giving example of that man who took his wife to the court here in West. But that one is not also an indication like that may be a woman, she getting sex outside the bed, or also if a husband and also you keep also always complaining, giving excuse, I'm so tired, and also like wife, she has a need also. That is not also indication of that man also is getting sex outside the bed. And let us be honest and try to give answer about this, because this is one of the problem I know so far is facing our families is in the West or in the South Sudan. So I want you to make a comment before we go to Maulana Tereza, and I know Tereza will talk more about that in Arabic. So for that.
Okay. When a woman refuse today, refuse tomorrow, and refuse 3 days, 4 days, this is not normal. And biblically, sex is ordained by God, and God said you are not responsible for your body; it belongs to the husband, and also the body of the husband belongs to the woman. Therefore, both of you, men or woman, we should not go outside, especially when you are married. So a woman, if she refuses 3 times, there must be a problem. Call her try to find a good mood, a good time, invite her somewhere, just ask her lovely, not by force. Ask her, I really understand, is there anything we can do, because this is not normal. So a man has to be creative, a man has to have very wise to find out, because this woman, she's acting different now. Either she's cheating, either there's family issues that you guys fail to resolve. So women sometimes tend to refuse sex to husband is like a punishment or like an alert, like giving you, hey, there's something happening. Therefore, if your wife is honest woman, she will say, you know what, I'm really sorry, but because sex, it has relationship with mood, with the feeling. That's why I'm not interested, because of ABC. Therefore, I answer you now, there must be a problem in that relationship. You need to answer here.
Okay. Yeah. Did you finish? You are frozen. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Lily. Welcome, Deborah. And let's listen to Teresa. Then we'll come to our sister Deborah to contribute. Also, Teresa, I want you also to write down, and Lily and also Deborah, like there is I don't know, on Simo, Alex, I don't know, on Simo, she's saying some men jump on a woman like a ball for sex. I don't think that also is sexual assault, because that is rape. Because how can a man you jump on, even if she is your wife, just how can you jump on her like this? Also, I want you, Teresa, to make a comment. Then we will go back to the main topic, talking about actually the rape in our family. So, Teresa.
Yeah, thank you, Brother Edward, and I want to thank also Sister Lily for answering this question. I want to say, I want to say that this issue happens. It does really happen. There is a rape. We can call it a rape. Why? Because anything that is not on your will. Yeah, on your will. Yeah, do a رضا بتاعك. It's a rape. You're being forced to do it. Even between husband and wife. A wife can rape a husband, and husband can rape a woman. By what? By force. And why I'm saying that is a rape, because يعني ده بيرجع لشنو، للتعريف بتاع انه كل فعل يعني دون رضا طرف، ده بيعتبر ده اعتداء او اغتصاب، لانه انت غصبته في ده كلمه اغتصاب ده جاء من كلمه انه انت غصبت زول في حاجه، يعني غصبا عنه. شفت كيف؟ فالحاجه اللي نقدر نقول انه الحالات ده قاعد يحصل ليه، لانه في ناس طبعا زي ما اخونا هناك ديم توماس قال يا اخي برضه كمان مره ممكن يعمل ريب لراجل، صح؟ ليه كنا نتكلم عن بتاع الراجل بيعمل ريب للمراه، في حاجات، في اسباب كثير. اولا الاسباب ده بيكون راجل ده ذاته عنيف، الراجل ده هو عنيف في السكشوال اكتيفيتي بتاعه، هو عنيف. المراه ده بيكون عنده حاله يعني المراه ده بيكون عنده حاله، كل ما يشوف راجل ده بيجيه حاله انه هو ما داير يعني لانه هو شايف انه زول ده عنيف. ده واحد. نمره اثنين، المراه ده بيكون عنده حالات عنده في حالات ذاته اللي بيخلي انه يعني حالات مزاجيه، لانه المراه جسمه زي ما احنا عارفين الجسم بتاع المراه ما زي الجسم بتاع الراجل،
فيها افرازات هرمونيه
اخرى بيجي يعني will change the swing of the mood وكده. مرات you don't want please don't touch me. هنا المفروض الراجل يفهم مرته، يفهم ذات الطريقه بتاع مره بتاعك. الحاجه الثانيه انت بتلقى انه شنو الحاجه ذات اللي بيجي يجيب الاغتصاب ده من جانب بتاع راجل للمراه. انت بتلقى انه الراجل ده بيكون ما رومانسي زول ما رومانسي زي ما انا قلت هو عنيف مثلا في السكشوال اكتيفيتي، لكن في نفس الوقت هو ما رومانسي. مع المراه ذاته انت لازم تدلعه شويه، لما تدلعه كده بحيث بانه شنو she's the queen of the world, not only your queen but the queen of the world. شفت كيف؟ براها. تعال احنا نجي برضه
يا تريزا انت عشان تواصلي if kind someone actually is raised kind of a question concern, like if a woman a wife, she actually insisting she need actually to date and actually a man is refusing and she says that also is not considered as a rape, A woman raping a man also not considered.
ما انت ما ده هو كمان ما انا جاي لك في الكلام ده. ليلي she mentioned something very good. She said something قال يا اخي مثلا المرة داري يعمل punishment للراجل بتاعه، وده ذاته يا بجيب بس خلي الراجل يجي يغتصب بقوه وبيشوف انت مرتي انت مرتي بكون هناك مثلا you promise the guy promised that woman that I'm gonna get you this thing. تعرف الرجال كمان مخهم مرات بينسوا بسهوله، ويقوم ماشي بيكون ما جاب كان ده الريحه بتاعه ده، ولا كان ده لانجري بتاعه لو كان فاكره، ولا كان ده خاتم، ولا كان اي حاجه لو طلبوا منه، ولا التليفون بتاعه. هيدا جيت انت ما جبت، انت ما وعدت. هيدا جاي هناك عامل نفسك خلاص اخونا جاي هناك today I'm gonna have we're gonna enjoy our life our husband or wife. انت جيت هناك تلقى مره زعلان يقول له you know stop it there. هنا طبعا مزاج الراجل تشوف هنا انا يا راجل انا يا عرستك وانا كده. طبعا تعرف كمان بالذات احنا يعني شباب بتاعنا رجال جنوبيين انت مره قلة الادب طوالي يجورك بقوه. فده هنا ده اسمه ريب. هنا ده ريب طوالي حتى لو ده مرتك، لانه ده انت عملته من غير اراده بتاعه. تعال هنا نجي للمرة.
ده هسه فيه محكمه يا تريزا.
في محكمه فيه.
لو هسه يعني راجل ومرة في البيت مثلا،
لو واحد منهم مش اشتكى
كده بس انت كده كمولانا من نظره قانونيه
ده
يعني مرة ده بيكتسب راجل كيف؟
ما الراجل ده اغتصب مرته. ده يعتبر جنون، ده اغتصاب.
المرأة اغتصب راجله كيف يعني؟
ما مرة ده اصلا ممكن مرة ده يغتصب. ما انت شوف في نسوان طبعا زول بيكون عاتي كده عنده قوه وكده، وعمك ده ضعيف فممكن كل مره بهجمه وبهرش الراجل ده. راجل ما عنده صوت، فهو ممكن يعمل اي حاجه للراجل ده كان
راجل now is under abuse.
ايوه I came from work I don't have power and this وبشوف كده انت ما عندك باور شنو. ويا اول مره ما شاء الله يقرب وشنو اخونا خلاص وبشوف نفسه. You guys are laughing, we're laughing about this but this is reality.
Let us continue.
انا اقول لك ادوار حاجه ده حصل. انا شفت الحاجه ده حصل في المانيا لفاميلي ده هم من كينيا، لكن انا ما اقدر نقول ما اقدر نذكرهم لكن حصل. الراجل ده انا من قاعد يتكلم انا حسيت انه يعني زول مسكين جدا you know. وعارف انه كان هو عمل اذروايز، كان هو قال حاجه ممكن مره ده يجي يقول يا اخي مش يشتكي وقال الراجل ده دقان. وانت عارف بوليس في العالم الغربي ده دائما بيقف مع شفت كيف. فحاجات ده قاعد يحصل انه بتلقى انه مره ذاته بيجي يغتصب الراجل. المره طبعا مرات كمان وعنده هرمون بتاعه كان جاء لحظه انه ده الراجل بتاعه هو داير. هو ده اول حاله هنا بتاع شنو الاغتصاب. ده بيحصل في جانبين، وعلى فكره ده جريمه بيعاقب عليه لو في طرف من طرفين ده ماشي يشتكى كان ده راجل ولا مره عنده عقوبه على فكره. فده نقطه نقدر نضيف عليه. فكلام بتاع اغتصاب ده بيجي لجانبين، ده في جانب بتاع مرأة او اعتداءات الجنسيه ده. تفضل.
شكرا جزيلا مولانا تريزا. مرحبا سايمون. Let us listen to Deborah, then we will continue to the question because أنا داير نشوف التأثير بتاع الاغتصاب بعد ما البيت اللي اغتصبوها مثلا أو البيت after she have been assaulted. So التأثير اللي قاعد يصير له أو what can we tell her ممكن يتعالج كيف. We will have to go to that question. But let us listen to Deborah and Simon, then we continue.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for allowing me to come to your show. Allow me to speak in English because my Arabic is really in the emergency room.
No, don't worry. We will take your Arabic out from emergency room, inshallah. Don't worry.
All right, that would be great.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm Deborah Pony Caroline from the Netherlands. And I was just here. I was enjoying the show, and I just felt like I have some little thing to contribute to the show. First of all, you have been talking about rape or assault. Assault has been there in our culture, mostly the African culture, and especially breaking it down, coming back to our country, South Sudan. we have taken that as a taboo from the root cause of our culture and traditions. We don't talk about it in open in our families, not even in schools, not even in the open. And we have kept it as a taboo to an extent that as a kid, when you are being touched and appropriated by your neighbor or by any other kid, and you come home and you tell your mother, then the first thing you are being punished for it. Why? Because we take it as a taboo. We don't talk about it. You should not talk about it as a kid. So we have actually cultivated that in ourselves and in our children. And some of us, even some of our mothers, our grandmothers, they have also gone through the same system because our culture do not allow women to come out and talk about it in open. So that is one of the disease that has become like a cancer in the cells of our culture today. And it has affected a lot of women, a lot of children, a lot of even young boys. It does not mean that it's only the girls who have been raped. There are also boys who have been raped at a very young age. So let us talk about both of them.
Yeah, we
have seen that because in the culture, it has been a taboo. Even in the churches, it has become a taboo. Because when it's not talked about it in the house, you go out in the church and you are being abused. You cannot come back and fall back to in the family or in the home that you came out from. So I'm just so glad that today the war has allowed us to come outside and we have come and learned a lot of things from other people's cultures. And now we are trying to adjust and look at both cultures, our culture and the foreign culture, and which is helping us to bring the awareness back to our people. And we are here talking about it because it has become a concern. And we have seen that we have children that are so courageous. They have kept quiet about it, but now it has burned them inside. And, when you keep something for long inside, time will come that it will explode. Those who have grown in our cultures or back home those days or those years, they did not have the privilege to talk about it because either when you talk about it, you bring shame to your family. You bring shame to your father and your mother. And then you bring shame to the clan. And then you bring shame to the neighborhood. So that is why we don't want to talk about it. But when we came outside here, we came and see that actually they have thought about it. And maybe that was one of the issues. And they have now implemented it to become a law, which is not the last law, but it's among the first 5 laws in the diaspora. Rape, assault is being taken serious, just like murder. And because of this, the people or the foreign countries that we have come into, we have seen that these people have adjusted themselves, because once you commit that sin, or once you commit assault or rape, you have to know that the consequences is going to be huge. And nobody wants to go through that disgrace, because when you go to jail, you come out of it, nobody will want to hire you. You lose places, you lose respect in the community, you lose respect in the society, even in your own family, even at the places of job, you have no value. So you are mentally and physically in prison because of the act that you have done. And that has taught a lot of them to respect that part. That's why you will find a stepfather coming into a house where there are children, women, girls, but he will respect himself, will control himself. But because we are coming from a culture where it has been a taboo, we don't even have respect for our women. We don't have respect for our girls. We don't have respect for our children, because some parents, some mothers went through that abuse. and they have become immune. And I'm so glad that when the discussion was going on, somebody raised it up and said, I think Caesar or something, someone by that name, raised it up concerning about this issue of husband and wife. And of course, husband and wife, this has also become it is in the same package. But how much we want to separate it, they are like sisters, twin sisters. You cannot separate them. Rape and assault, insult, going against somebody's will. It is not acceptable. That's why we are fighting about it, because some of these innocent children, it's not because they wanted it, but somebody enforced themselves into these kids and has caused problems. And why are we discussing about it? Because that is against their will. And when we look at it scientifically, their bodies are still not yet ready for that. Why am I saying this against your will? Because these things happen in our own beds. You find a woman having menstruation, worked very hard, trying to rest. The partner wants that thing to happen, the action. And when the woman refuses, then that is, I have paid cows, I have paid dowries, you are my property. So there is no respect here. And when we come biblically to that, even the Bible talks about it, that there's certain time that a woman's body needs rest, and that should be respected by the husband. And now, when we come outside, we look at the laws that has been put. When you go against even each other's will, because sex is supposed to be respected by both. Sex is supposed to be enjoyable by both husband and wife. But when we go out of the boundaries of enjoyable and respect for one another, that means that we are now creating something out of the enjoyable that God has made for us as husband and wife. And that is when it becomes now an assault. Because then if your wife tries to tell you that actually I am not in position, you don't have to ask her why and all these things. You can just relax and understand that, because that's your wife. And you know very well that women go through certain changes in the month. You should be able to understand. But the moment you go against her will in the diaspora, in the first world or in the Western world, you will immediately go to jail. That is taken as a serious thing. Whereas back in Africa, a woman doesn't have a say, because women is being taken as a property. The part of it is we fail to understand the value of each other to one another. If I understand you as my husband, the Bible says that I should give myself freely to you. A wife is supposed to submit to the husband. I am not supposed to go against my husband because my body belongs to my husband, vice versa. So if I'm not in a position, you should be able to understand. And if you want me to explain, I can explain, and I expect you to also understand. But if it goes like a period of 1 month to 1 year, I am denying you, then that becomes an issue. And we should look at this. Why is it becoming an issue now? What is the problem? And that is the part of it where we say that now you should use wisdom and understand and know how to go about it. But if it is for just, 1 time, 2 times, maybe, women go through that menstrual cycle 5 days. Others even may go to 7 days in a month. So you should be able to at least go through fasting in that period of time. And if she's totally exhausted, you should also understand if she's also working 50-50 like you are working also 50-50 like me. In the Western culture, we should be able to understand. But also, you know, I love that because you mentioned something. You said, you know, the moment since women start earning money or earning more than their husband, it becomes a problem. And that is one issue that has brought actually a lot of insecurity in families and a lot of breakage in the families today. That has led into family breaking down and now inviting other foreign people who are coming in to fill up that gap. And we don't have even time to discover and to know this person who is coming into the family. And this person is coming with all his baggage, his luggage, and then we allow him to come or allow her to come. And then the family is being distorted because now there is another lion that has come into the family with an aim of, or with that bracket of an uncle who is supposed to be like the stepfather, who is supposed to be like the boyfriend, who is supposed to be like the girlfriend. Now it becomes problem. We have seen so many cases where even a stepmother coming having sex or having, you know, abusing the young boys who are in the house. The young teenage, because he's looking nice, the father is not there. So now the mother takes the child and starts raping the child, the male child. We have seen these cases. And women, we don't have time because we are chasing after the money. The bills have to be paid. Things have to be put in order. And when we come back, the person who is in the house start terrorizing the whole house. Don't tell. If you tell, I'm gonna kill you. So it becomes like another issue in the house, which is being covered up by dirty blanket. Not until somebody comes out and talk about it. I believe that the issue even of what has happened in the United States just some few weeks ago, I'm sure that that servant, I am a servant of God, I am a woman of God, I am a preacher, I am a prophetess, but I am called by God. If I see something which is sin, I should be able to speak about it. I should be able to correct. I should be able to look at myself and balance myself. But if I keep quiet, that means that I have encouraged it and I'm part of it. So for that servant of God to be able to see, I'm sure that she must have gone through abuse through that husband. And she could not even have the courage to come out and speak out. I don't know her. I have never sat down with her, but I believe that because of the superiority in the house, she was unable to speak about it. And it led to things like what just happened recently, which has brought a lot of shame and embarrassment because somebody is afraid to lose her position. Somebody is afraid to come out and talk out. Somebody is afraid of losing maybe the title of a good wife.
Yeah. Thanks.
So these are some of the things that I just want us to think about it and really, you know, raise more awareness and protect our loved ones, our young ones. And also as mothers, we have failed terribly to raise, even because we think like it's the teacher's duty or somebody else's duty to teach our children, educate them about these things. So I believe that as we mothers, we befriend our children, the children will feel free and they will come to us and tell us about what is facing them. So do not go away from your children, but befriend them, love them, be part of them, understand them, so that the trust is gained by both sides. Then that is how we can protect them.
Yeah, thank you. We are going actually to close the show in 30 minutes.
Thank you.
Because just stay, I want you to say, because we are going to continue next week. So before I ask the last question, let me give Simon some minutes to contribute, then we continue. I have just last question. But was Simon.
All right, thank you. I will say thank you to you, Edward, and thank you, Sister Teresa, and also Deborah. You have already highlighted so many of them, and I do believe also the previous speakers, they also touch a lot of points that we really need. I can say that also greet all the viewers. I can say this is very interesting topic that we are discussing today, and it's also good for our community to have a knowledge about what's happening. Because if we come to this culture, where we came from and the Western culture is very much different. So now a lot of men, when they hear a word that a man raping his own wife, they are surprised about it, but it's in the law here. So if you do anything against anybody's will, it's considered as a rape. If you're a man or a woman, it's a rape. I just want to touch a few points because Deborah also mentioned a lot of them, which is very good. So when it comes to these young people who have been being abused, sexually abused, I can say that because when you do something against somebody's will, it's abuse. Either you use it by force. Some people, they use it in the bar, like giving them drugs or alcohol. So when they get high or they get drunk, and then you can use the
Lily, are you hearing Lily?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay,
you can use whatever tactics you want to use to have your whatever you need. So to my people, I just want you to understand that in the law here in Canada and United States, they are all the same, and I believe also in part of Europe and Australia, we share the same. If something like this happens, especially with our young one, and you have been informed by these little people, there is two things that can happen. If you are a parent or you're an elder person in that household, and you try to keep the situation calm, as our people said when Deborah mentioned that, our people take it as a shame. First thing in our culture, especially the Sudanese, if a girl is known she has been raped, even though she's still okay, it's a lot of things involved. People who want to come, they like to marry her, she will not have that opportunity to have it because her name is being exposed to the public. So they will keep that as a secret. But in this Western world, it's not a secret. And also we know that now they start even in primary school that they teach little kids about sex activities. If someone touch you in a very sensitive area in your body, so they are aware about these things. It already been approved here in Canada that the elementary school has to be teach about all these things. When it comes to this situation, why I mentioned that, if you've been informed by these little kids and they grow up and they knew their right, like whatever people mentioned before, that when this explodes, it causes a lot of problem in this situation, whether you are a preacher or a community leader and you've been informed by these innocent people. And when it comes to authority, they will ask the child, when this incident happened, whom did you tell this information? If it was a father, that father is in trouble, and the person who did the crime is in trouble. So now it involves so many people. So let our people know that this is a crime in this country, and nobody has a right to do something against other person's will. This is the law. When it came to this situation of people being separated, the separation, there's so many reasons. There's financials involved, and also things get to worse in a different situation, like somebody will say, oh, my money is more than yours, you're not making any money. And this is that kind of love is not, I cannot call it a love. It is something that those people, they do not have real love. And if they do love themselves, first thing what husband and wife do in this country, if you get $5 and I get $15, we put this $20 together and we calculate our budget. What is our mortgage or our rent is, how much is our bills, and then we separate all this thing, and we all know that we have some extra money that we got send back home. We all calculate this and how much these children need to go out during the week. And when you put all this together, whatever left to you is go to your saving account. So if you put a situation like that and you both have a sharing account, and also within the family, there's somebody who has a good relationship with the money, and there's somebody who has really bad relationship with the money. And both of you have to discover that. If it's a man, then handle the money to the wife. And if it's the wife who doesn't have a good relationship with the money, give money to the husband and he will take care of that, because you are one family. As Sister Deborah mentioned before, when you are married to a woman or a man, so you become a one soul. So, and you have to submit each one to one another, you know. So when the separation comes in this situation, there is a big problem. The boy will not listen to their mother. You can raise your kid, they can be good kids, they can go to school, they can learn a lot of things. But it is very hard for a woman to raise a boy to be a man, because no woman can raise a boy and show him his manhood, you know. Only men can do that. I want all women to know that. And also the men cannot teach a young girl to be a real model woman, you know. So these are the two things. In this means that both people are needed, but if the situation happens that they have to be separated, but each one of them has to know that there is something is missing in that family. And then when a woman brings a boyfriend, I always tell people it is good to be very honest and sincere. Don't mislead the kids that this is uncle, because the word uncle is bring that relationship to the whole family, and the children will not have a fear of you that you are not part of them, that they will consider you your uncle. So if you call a young girl and your uncle into your private room, like what sister mentioned before, if the wife is at work and then this man is interested in this girl which is not his daughter and call her to a room, she will say, no, this is uncle, so I will come to the room. But there's something could make her think twice. If she know this is my mom's boyfriend, there's a different relation here, you know. She may have a doubt, oh no, if it's my mom's boyfriend, why should I go to a room? Let him come to the living room, you know, to an open place. So in this point, I'm telling all the separate women that if you have a right to have someone, you're not there to live by yourself. But if you bring that person and you have kids from other person, tell them very clearly that this is my boyfriend and he's going to be your stepfather. So they will know that it's your boyfriend. And the same thing to the men. If you bring a lady, tell your kids. You may have a grown-up kids, like what the sister said. And that woman, she may be like, okay, now this man is not here. I want one of these some young boy in my house, you know. So in those situations, we have to understand where is we can help ourselves. Just to make it, to make my last point, let us also understand that this thing, when it comes to your mind, you become a victim of this kind of situation, being raised in the young age or in adults. So it's like a guilt in you. If you did something wrong to somebody, you feel guilty all the time. Even though your name not being exposed to the public or to the community, you still have that stigma in your body that you are ashamed to yourself for what happened to you or what have been done to you, you know? So when somebody say to someone, they release that stress in their body, and that's the healing right there, because they become mentally sick regarding to the situation. So to help our people, we have to make awareness, as people mentioned before. This is not the right thing to do. Let us give respect to one another. Yes, in our culture, married, but we don't have right to force. You know, if she's your wife, you have to understand that if she's tired, she's tired. And also your husband, because now people like Sudanese, it is very hard for Sudanese to go to a court and say, oh, my wife raped me. But it happened here in Canada. The white people, I can say, they go to court and said, my wife raped me, you know, because it was done without their will, you know. So in that part, I think both could enjoy it when it's all acceptable for them. And I will stop there because I want to give time for other people. Thank you very much for your contribution, and have a good one.
Yeah, thank you, Simon, actually, for your contribution. We remain with some minutes. There is some of question. Actually, I'm not going to ask them. I will keep them for next week's discussion, because still we are going to answer some question. Also, there is many question. How can we build a trust between us and our kids? A lot of questions still we need to ask them. And honestly, I don't have time. I'm working in the morning, early morning tomorrow. So let me give each of you 5 minutes to make a final contribution. Then we'll continue next week. أنينا هنستمر مشاهدين الأسبوع الجاي، لأن عندنا أسئلة لسه كثير. الزول مثلا المورس على الاغتصاب، الحالة بتاعه بتكون كيف، ولا يعني هنا بزاد يفترض نقول له شنو، كيف نبني ثقة بيناتنا مع الأسر بتاعتنا. القانون بتاعنا نحن في جنوب السودان قاعد يقول شنو، هل في قانون ولا ما في قانون؟ لو ما في قانون، الدور بتاعنا شنو؟ نضغط الحكومة عشان لازم يعملوا قانون بتاع حماية الحقوق الطفل. All of those questions, we are going to talk about them next week, inshallah. Let us start with the newcomer, our guest Caesar. Actually, he was asked for the first time. Welcome on board. Let us hear from you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Edward. Your program, I'm always happy to hear about the programs that are related to family issues and things like that, because I'm from the background of someone who's going through the similar thing. So I'm always seeking for audience, and also want to listen from how women think about this kind of broken life, family life. Thank you, Sister Tereza and Pony, if I'm not going to say it right, and also Simon, for all your good stuff that you have brought up. I'm very glad that, and I'm always excited to talk about family issues, because I believe that's the key behind our success. So if we have a broken family, we grow in a broken family, definitely we are prone to failure in many ways, whether it is psychologically, whether it is mentally or physically, or anyway, even the way we conduct ourselves. So family is the key. Doesn't matter whether the parents are living together or not, but there should be a conducive environment where the child grows, because sometimes out of depression, we eat so much that we end up obese. The same thing, out of depression, sometimes we end up looking for sex. Okay, so sex is a physiological need. So if you are introduced to it in a wrong manner, then you will end up abusing it. So most of the kids who end up thinking that they are being raped, actually they are just being introduced to sexual life due to the depression they're going through. And when they realize later that, oh, they're doing something wrong with the wrong person, maybe the uncle, we say, or maybe the auntie, or as what Pony said, is like maybe the mother herself. And then suddenly they wake up and then they call it rape, or they call it unintentional sexual activity. So sometimes it starts in a good way and then ends up, then when you discover later on, then it becomes, then you name it whatever name that is available at the moment. As Sister Tereza mentioned earlier, it's true that anything that is done against your will, even in the office, is a rape. Even your brain can be raped also. So that is the literal meaning of a rape. That's why sometimes when people will be like, hey, come on, you're raping my ideas. So it means that you are doing something wrong against the idea of the person. I think most of the things are covered, the stories, whatever that happens among us. Another thing is the body language. Many people don't understand the sexual body language. You know, some people can be sitting there just using their body language and they can screw up your brain sexually. And then suddenly you end up going to bed with that person just because of the body language. And some people are so good at it. And this is where a lot of people have to teach their children of what are the different ways of people approaching you sexually. Is very important. You are a human being. As I said, sex is a physiological need. So it means God created it. It is there for people to do it. But how it should happen is the one that we are trying to regulate at the moment, very importantly. That's why we need to educate. First of all, that the elders must be educated first before they start guiding their children. Because in the West, for example, or outside South Sudan, we get, some people didn't even get the education, but they just listen from TV, from programs, and they got it wrong a little bit. And that is why sometimes we end up bringing girlfriends at home, bringing boyfriends at home, and then we don't know how to introduce them to the kids, and we feel it is a taboo to tell the kids that this is my boyfriend. And if you have an elder daughter, you bring a boyfriend home, definitely the elder daughter will be your successor one day if you don't play it well, because she will be like, my mom is hiding from me, so I don't think she'll be confused as well. Similar thing can happen the other way around as well. And I also gonna touch on the raping among males also. You know, there are issues like that happening. I know in our society, you know, if you are doing it, it is like a big taboo for a male, but it's happening. You know, we have Rujal, you know, Rujal Tanin, and then they're raped even by their own stepfather, by their fathers, and things like that. But in our society, this kind of things never surface. And I hope that maybe people start thinking about it and bring it up, because this is one of the things that breaks a male down, you know, in our society. When some راجل قالوا له يا اخي ده قاعد ينوم مع الرجال ولا في نعموا معه قبل كده خلاص ولا ده انتهى مستقبله انتهى خلاص سايكولوجيكالو بدوس ببقى مجنون بيش بدوس نفسه ما داير يقرا ما داير ياكل. So the thing is, as Sister Tereza mentioned earlier, مفروض علينا من البداية we have to start highlighting these things to our children as they grow without shame, and we call it a spade a spade. ما نقول يا أخي حاجة الناس بنقول no, we tell them the sex يسموه عديل باسمه ده لأنه يسمع وقد يطلع حقيقة. لكن لما when you call it a different name في شهر عندنا different name بتاعه برضه احنا لما نطلع شباب هناك عندنا different name بتاعه بنيجي في بيت it's something that is forbidden, you know. So we don't have to make it like forbidden fruit, like the apple bita, how Adam da. We don't have to make it like a forbidden. It is something that is approved in our society. Therefore, it has to be done the right way. That's my take on that one.
Yeah, thank you so much, Caesar. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you for contributing, and for also pointing out the important point also. Thank you so much. Shukran lek. Let's go to Molana Tereza, because Tereza, قبل ما تمشي قدام, dual Lujang, you have a problem with your network. Your network is slowing my internet. It looks like you are carrying virus with you. Sorry, I have to drop you out. No, بصراحة لأنه أصلاً لما هو يخش we slow out totally my network. That means your network actually is look kind of is affected by virus. So or it's so weak. So
no, it's internet with a lot of security system does that. if the security is so heavy in your internet, normally it slows down the service.
It's not like that. I have security actually on my laptop here, but actually it's nothing to do. It's apart from kind of protecting my system. So let listen to Sister Tereza. Don't check your internet. I don't know what's going on with your internet. Morlana Tereza, then we'll go to Deborah. Sorry for anyone else, because actually we are closing the show. I will continue the topic next week.
Yes.
Sister Tereza.
Yeah. Do you have specific question now? Do you want to
No,
ask?
just actually we need to make conclusion. دايرين نعمل ختام اسبوع جاي اننا بنواصل في اسئله كثير مثلا زي انا قبل اتكلمت عن القوانين اننا يفترض دايرين بناء ثقه بيناتنا وبين الاسر برضه we have to send a clear message to our people back home لانه دي الناس more affected than anyone else في جنوب السودان and that's why we are bringing up the topic so ده كله اننا بنناقشه اسبوع جاي لانه already الزمن ماشي انتهي that's why انا اتى لي ما رجع لكن أنا داير بس نعمل conclusion و next week we'll come and continue ببعض the rest of the question.
Yeah. First of all, Brother Edward, I want to thank you very much for raising this issue again. As you have seen, once I invited Sister, what's her name, Sister Miriam. She came and she was actually sexually harassed or assaulted inside the embassy. Even this thing went for so long. You see, but at the end she came out and she spoke to the public, and I really want to salute her. And now we are seeing a lot of our girls are coming out to speak, fight this thing, to break this taboo, like our sister described it, Sister Pony. We need to speak and we need to communicate. So if you want to go to summarize all of the important point, especially the root causes of this issue and how we should actually prevent it. As I put it before, and I will repeat it again, أنا اتكلمت قبل بعربي أنا قلت إنه المشكلة الأساسية اللي هو عدم تطبيق القانون. We need to emphasize that we need a very strong laws which are really implemented. It need to be enforced on everybody, so we can protect our communities. هو تطبيق القوانين تطبيق صحيح، والقوانين ده لازم يتم تضمينه في الدستور ويكون صارم. ده نمرة واحد. نمرة اثنين، احنا نبتعد عن القيم أو التقاليد. Our traditions, some of our traditions are bad. We need to change it. Anything that bad, we should leave it, because with the time, the life is changing. We are not in let's say 20th century or 18th century. We are in 21st century. Everything is changing. الهروبات وده الاسباب الاساسيه برضه بخلي انه مثلا لما الفاميلي ياسد تلقى ناس في مخيمات وشنو حاجات كتير بيحصل هناك، يعني sexual harassment, sexual assault, sexual abuse. It's happening in this kind of environment. هو برضه السكوت. We shouldn't be silent. Being a silent, you are actually promoting and you are actually helping this abuse to continue. هو when you feel like with a shame when this thing happened to you, you feel like كان انت ولد ولا بنت انت تشعر بعار. We shouldn't feel like we are being cursed. No, this is a crime. And now when we talk about it, we are breaking these boundaries. We are breaking this boundary. We are breaking this silence with with saving other people to go or to fall victims. شفت كيف؟ احنا كمان شنو؟ عدم وجود والدين. We need to promote our community. We need to support our communities that being together as a husband and wife will protect our children. So in the future they will not fall as a victim. And the same thing we should actually يعني احنا نبتعد عن كلام بتاع الماديات، بالذات احنا النسوان اللي بكون طلعوا في برا هنا اي زول بقى مشغول بقروش وانت بتنسى العيال وبعد ذاك بيجيب طلاق بين الرجال. ده كلام اللي هو برضه احنا نحدد اقارب بتاعنا. ما في زول ما ممكن تقول ده انكل وده ما انكل وده منو. انكل ده is the blood cousin uncle. ما اي زول انكل، عشان احنا ذاتنا نعمل شنو؟ ما نخلي ايالنا يمشي يتزوجوا برا، بالذات الشباب، لانه ما كل شويه انكل وانتي انكل وانتي. انت لازم تحدد الكلام ده، نحدد اللي هو صله الاقارب. احنا لازم يكون عندنا تواصل مع الاطفال from the beginning. احنا نتكلم زي ما قال اخوي سيزر هنا، هو قال بانه لازم احنا نوري الجنة ده كلمه ده يقول له عديل كده، اللي هو في sexual assault. ما تقول مثلا ماي ابل او شنو كلمه المستعاره ده. انت you talk to your children like adults، تتكلم معاهم كانه ده ناس كبار في السن. شفت كيف؟ المجتمع احيانا، المجتمع طبعا قاعد يساهم بسبب بتاع العادات وتقاليد ده. فاحنا نوعي المجتمع بتاعنا بانه this thing people need to discuss it. And if you have a child in the family or child in this community came out and talk about this kind of issues, like for instance that I've been assaulted or sexual harassed with Mr. So and so in this community, people should watch out, because that person will go on and continue with that evil intention in him. That child will not be the only victim, but many. So that's why we have to prevent this by listening to our children, by bringing those kind of people, sitting down with them and talk to them. And the other thing تاني اللي هو التربية الجنسية. The sexual education should start in our school. We should support this in our school. So then we will teach our children, to be protective for themselves, to know who's actually that evil man or evil woman who will come and abuse those kids or abuse the girl, whether girl or boys. الكلام ده إنه شنو؟ We shouldn't allow children to sleep with all the people in the room. في ده حاجة ده أول سبب اللي قاعد يحصل حاجات زي دي. أنا در أوريكم. أنت بكون عندك ضيوف جايين من برا، أنت ما عارفين جايين من وين. قال أي ده فريند خلاص، أي أوضة بتاع عيال في هناك، أي في سرير تاني فاضي خلاص، ناس دي ينوموا هناك، الجنة ده ينوم بجنبها. You don't know what's gonna happen. Just trust yourself. عشان كده نقدر نقول advise the parents. You shouldn't allow this to happen. الشيطان مع الناس. شفت كيف؟ الشيطان ده ما قال وين بشكل معين. He can actually manifest in human being. ده الكلام اللي نقدر نتكلم عنه. هو كمان شنو موضوع بتاع عدم يعني we shouldn't feel shy to talk about this educational sex inside our community. Even if this community is not well educated, but we should find a way how to educate our people. Even by going there by radio, or even some videos, you record some video, go to the village there, شغلوا للناس دل عشان هم يعرفوا، لأنه this is very important. ده النقاط المهمة اللي احنا كنا اتكلمنا عنه. وأنا داير نقول إنه شنو، احنا كمجتمع بتاع جنوب السودان احنا بنحتاج إنه نحارب العادات دي من خلال إنه يكون في تطبيق لقوانين، ويكون عندنا قوانين صارمة في الدستور بتاعنا. وده نقطة أنا داير انتهي به، وداير أشكر أخوتنا فوني لادو من هولند، وكمان داير أشكر أخوي إدوارد للفرصة ده، وداير أشكر الناس اللي قبل جو يتكلموا هنا، وربنا يبارك.
ربنا يباركك مولانا تريزا، شكرا جزيلا للقبول الدعوة وللحديث وللنقاش بكل صراحة، ونخليك تمشي ونحن نتلاقى إن شاء الله الأسبوع الجاي. The same also we need to come and continue because نحن لسه ما كملناه في أسئلة. حتى القانون برضو أنا دايرك برضو نحن هنيجي نتكلم عنه الأسبوع الجاي إن شاء الله. شكرا. شكرا. Sister Foni.
Yes, so I just want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to summarize part of the discussion. I don't have much to say. My sister Tereza has already spoken most of the things. Only that I just want to say that as South Sudanese, as African people, we should support one another as families.
Hey, Edward. Hello. Happy Independence Day.
Same to you. Wait, don't behave like ambassador.
Oh, well, come on. How are you? How are you?
Yeah.
Let you finish. Actually, we are about to close the show, but because you have been down here, I don't want to close the show without giving you 3 minutes. So let Deborah finish. I will.
Okay.
Yes.
So I just want to encourage parents, especially the mothers, befriend your children, get to know your children. There is an age that is very difficult, and there is time that is very difficult for the children, especially when you reject them. They become like you create enmity between your children and yourself. So there is lack of trust. There is lack of communication. So in that case here, we want to break these boundaries here. We have to come closer to our children and get to understand our children, befriend our children, so that we can trust them and they can trust us. And it has to start with us, the parents. We have to learn how to educate our children. Do not leave that for the teachers to do that. Do not leave that for the church to be doing that. It has to start with us at home. We have to teach our children, and especially the girls. You have to start telling them from the young age, if anybody touches you inappropriate,
Exactly.
even if daddy, even if your brother does something, come and report that to me. In that case there, you're building up a relationship between you and your child. Whenever something like this goes wrong, she will be the first person to step to you, and you will be that source of help to that child. If it is a male or a boy or a female, we need to be supportive. Let us break this boundary of taboo in our family. Some of us, we have been raped, or maybe our parents, and they have carried that pain, and some of them even have passed it over to another generation. So it's like a generational curse. It came from one side where someone was abused, and now the abuse is being put on another innocent child. And we have to stop this. We have to break this. We have to talk more about it. We have to break it. And also one thing here, our country or our society, we are well known with extended families where cousins will come, where you collect each and everybody into your house. The house is very small. The girls are sharing the rooms sometimes with the boys, and then you put the minors and the adults together because there is no space. So let us come together and talk about this. You know, if the house cannot take, the capacity of the house cannot take, let the other ones go and also take parts in other houses, other homes, and protect your own, because these people are coming. You don't know. Some of them are coming with their attitudes that it's a foreign to you. And if you allow them, they will rape your children, and your children will be blaming you in the end for not protecting them. So let us also adapt this culture of, like, you know, the Westerns, the nuclear family. Let us try that. If you can support, rent a house for these people, let them go and settle themselves somewhere as adults, you know, and protect these young ones, than accepting them all to come in the same house. And you don't have even the ability, because some of us, we allow relatives to come in. And when they come, they start doing things like rape, assault, or sexual abuse to our children. Then we don't want to talk about it, because you don't want to be blamed by your brothers, by your relatives. Like, you know, you are blaming somebody's child because the person has come to stay with you. So this is one of the issues that we have, especially in our cultures as South Sudanese. For this reason, I will urge, if you have the money, put something small and let the relative of this person put something small and rent for them a house somewhere, and let them start taking responsibility. There is no issue. There is no need of we encouraging these young boys who are energetic, strong. They are supposed to go outside there and become men, look for jobs. And we are encouraging them to be inside the house, and then they become like the babysitters, and then in the end they abuse our children. So let us avoid that, because it's a very big issue. So many children have been abused in such a way. As government, let us also create environment of places, centers to accommodate the victims, to accommodate this, to talk about it to the mothers, to the girls, educate them, bring awareness, so that at least through educating one woman, you have educated a nation. So let us take advantage of this. Let us avoid this taboo thing. We put it there as a law, but yet we are the ones doing it.
And I
so
want
for
you
this
to
reason,
also,
I just want.
Yeah, I want you to add also one point before you conclude. Like also in the West, some of the families, they are keeping their children, those reach above 18, like 18, 19, 20, 21. They are jobless. Some of them, they are addicted to the drugs, and they are still staying in home with their parent. Why? Actually, it's above 18. Is now you can go and get job and rent a house.